What's up, everybody? Bright here with a new video, and I just wanted to take the time, since we're just a few days away from the release of Black Adam in theaters, and that's right, I'm pumped. I'm ready to go check it out. I'll be catching it in a few days, guys, but I definitely wanted to take the time to catch up and just talk about the importance that this movie has on the future of the DC universe. You know, whether it's successful, it does well in the box office, what plans they have to move forward with, what we can expect for them to do with the future plans they have going on, what some appearances may be, what do they mean if it is true. One of the biggest things that people are talking about right now, aside hopefully that the movie is good, is if special someone will make an appearance. I think we all know who that special someone is, but there's a lot to talk about, guys, and I just wanted to express my thoughts, share my opinions, and see what you guys think. And of course, all perfect timing as we're just a few days away from the movie, so let's just get straight to it. So basically, I know that they definitely are using, or they're expressing that with this movie is what they're kind of like planning to move forward with everything that's going on. You know, obviously the DCEU is still intact. Some things may change or not, depending on whatever they decide to change with certain things that have happened, you know, and certain people that are coming back and others that aren't. There's just a lot of talk of what's to come, you know, and a lot of what the future story will be that brings everything together, because we all know that the talks is that they want to come up with a 10-year plan, and that the Black Adam movie is what's kind of starting that. Not necessarily that he is the character that's going to like unite everything or anything like that. It's the foundation of what they're planning, because they plan to using the tone of this movie, whatever works in this. And, you know, obviously with The Rock pushing forward with everything, and him being someone that's, you know, helping lay out a foundation, a plan that's happening, something that makes sense. Because whether you've been a fan of the Zack Snyderverse or the Justice League Zack Snyder cut, whether you liked that universe he was building, everything that was happening in that, whether you liked it or not, you know that at least there was a plan, it was a vision that he had focused on. Whether it was a difference of opinion that the company had or not, ever since they like stepped away from all that, it's just been kind of messy, guys. Honestly, some of the movies have been really good. We all know that they've had a lot of good ones, and they've been doing very well financially. But it's just the tone of it, the story of it, the characters have not been well received. It just feels, unorganized. It feels unbalanced with the tones that they go for. We know that some movies are not connected. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the shared universe they have that they're still kind of pushing forward with. That's something that they haven't really stopped, but they haven't really kind of taken a moment to see what is their goal for it, because it's just all over the place, really. It never felt like a clean slate from if they were trying to push away from the Zack Snyderverse. If you want to do that, then start something, but they never did start anything, so it just felt messy. So a lot of fans that have been supporters of the Zack Snyderverse or Zack Snyder, and I'm a huge fan of what he was doing. It wasn't perfect, but if you guys know him, have been following me, you know I was all the way behind Zack Snyder and whatever he had planned. I like the tone of it. I like the story. It just worked for me, and it seemed like it worked for a lot of people. But it doesn't seem like that's going to be happening, at least not for the future, what they're planning. But it does seem that they are going to be using some of the elements that he had established, whether it be the tone of the movies, how the stories feel so dark and serious. They're definitely pressing forward with some of the planning. It's just that with The Rock pushing forward and him being a big part of all this, you could tell they have something else in mind with what they're going to be connecting with multiple things. Obviously, we already know from trailers that Amanda Waller's in there, so that connects to Suicide Squad. The rumor that it's all but confirmed is that Superman will make an appearance at the end credits, and that confirms him coming back. Henry Cavill would not be coming back for a simple cameo, otherwise that would have happened for the Shazam movie. No, if they're going to bring him back, it's to tease something big. I'm talking about big for the story, big for a franchise, possibly another Man of Steel movie, or even just, let you know that they're not done, and whatever they're planning, it's a step away from the Zack Snyderverse, but it's also borrowing from those elements. They might be using some of the actors, might be using some of the storytelling, and also maybe still use some of that, that ultimate ending that they were pushing for, which was the Darkseid War. That's what they wanted to do, and it seems like it's going forward still, and that's awesome, guys, because it's something I really want to look forward to. It doesn't get any better than what Zack Snyder was planning to be the ultimate goal, to have the Justice League and anyone else to fight against Darkseid, and just everything that was happening that we pretty much saw, that we were teased by that universe. It was just so awesome, but it just sucks to see that it all kind of fell apart from, difference of opinions and creative teams. But we just want to see something like that just lead to it. And the important thing about The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, of how much he cares about this role of Black Adam that's going to stick around for a while, especially if the movie is successful. He definitely cares about this stuff, and we know that he has a say in the future. We all know that he has constantly said that he was fighting to bring certain characters into the universe or keep certain people. If we do see, and it is true that Henry Cavill sticks around, I think we can safely say that it's thanks to The Rock, because he's just been coming up with these ideas. He is a fan of maybe something finally coming up with a solid story that connects everything for a good amount of years, but that doesn't mean you have to start from scratch. Now, I know some people think it's better to start completely, maybe reboot the whole thing. That wouldn't be a bad idea either. But if it is true, they're not doing that, and that also doesn't sound like a bad idea either. I've been reading that a good amount of fans of the Zack Snyder world have been very upset because if they are bringing back Henry Cavill, then why not bring the whole thing back? Well, that's because there's new management now. The company has merged. There's new people in charge. They're completely trying to come up with something new, but maybe possibly just using some layers of it, which in this case the actors and maybe some of the storytelling, but they are kind of just refreshing it, and that's what the vibes they've been giving us with we'll look forward to the Black Adam movie. And the thing is that I know The Rock has been teasing it as like the hierarchy of power in the DC universe is going to change. That remains to be seen, because that's in a way teasing that nothing's going to be the same and everything's going to get better with these movies. It's going to be something we haven't seen before, and hopefully, but it's kind of hard to say if that's what happens, because I think in the end, if the movie Black Adam isn't what the majority of people hope it was, it doesn't mean it's going to suck. It clearly looks like it has a lot of action. It's got some good actors in there. The Rock looks like he's giving a very serious take on this role. He's been passionate about it for like 10 years already, maybe even more about that already. It's just, time flies, guys. But we know he cares about this project, and you wouldn't cast The Rock in just a simple movie like that if people didn't believe that it had potential to grow and bring something forward with it. Yeah, you could tell they're bringing something forward with it. We just don't know what the plans are. Hopefully it's something solid. And it looks even better if Henry Cavill returns, because you're showing that you're listening to the fans, which we know The Rock has been pushing for, and you're also showing that you care about what future plans you have for these important characters. Another important thing to note is that they're really going back to focusing on the main trinity that we know, which is the trinity of DC, which is Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. We know that for a while before the merger happened, they were kind of trying to do a different thing because they weren't sure what they wanted to do after the Flashpoint movie, which is said to just do a clean slate from the Zack Snyderverse and just kind of come up with their own thing. And we know that they were teasing to kind of start that foundation with Batgirl, Supergirl, Wonder Woman, and yeah, they were going to have Batman, Michael Keaton's Batman in there, but not necessarily as like our main involved Batman, more as like an advisor kind of, or like someone in charge behind the cameras or something, like Nick Fury. It's just from Marvel. It's just it was a cool idea. It just didn't seem like it's something you would want to see as the future and the lead of it. Now, if you want to make movies like that, a movie about Supergirl, Batgirl, that's awesome. I would have loved to see it. I hate that they canceled it entirely. I would have loved to at least catch it on HBO Max. It could have been a fun movie. It's just to change the foundation that you've been leading with for a long time, not just in the movies, but in the comic books, in the games, and in so many things. It's just it's hard to not want to follow that, because it's something familiar. It's something you enjoy. It's important to people because those characters, those ideas are something that people have felt comfortable with, and something that has inspired them. Now, we've had a lot of other side characters that have become very popular, and in some ways have had like more of a popular feeling towards like side characters like Red Hood and other characters like that in the Batman universe. But Batman has still been the number one for that kind of story. It's just, it's familiar to people. It's kind of like, a passed down thing, like with the movies. Like whenever a new actor takes on the role of Batman, the torch is passed on. You're not replacing the character, you're replacing the actor. The character is still intact. So it just felt wrong with them doing that, but they were attempting something different. I can understand that, and I would have loved to see or hear more of what they were planning. But I'm definitely glad that they're kind of pushing now with the new merger, new people in charge. They're kind of focusing on our main trinity now. I think that's important, guys, because without a solid ground, solid lead, you wouldn't be able to be able to like play out the plans you have for movies that connect to each other. So it is important to the creative team with the new people in charge of the company that you are going to be going back to the main idea with our trinity that we know. It's important to lead with that universe because it's what's going to keep everybody happy and show you that you care about the future of the DCU, because you're using the characters that people are familiar with, you're using the stories that we've all enjoyed, and you're possibly using characters that could bring everything together in the long run. So that's why it's understandable how people have kind of been upset about all, but thankfully and hopefully it seems like they'll be planning something on the long run that makes more sense, a story that can feel connected and not just rushing through the movie and not focusing on a standalone movie and just focusing on the the Easter eggs and the end credits. No, you don't do that. That's something I feel like hopefully with Black Adam it kind of starts. Like, I want it to be a good movie that focuses on the characters in that story, and hopefully from there you'll see how it all connects. I would love to see a shared universe, but the important thing is to have a movie that works with those characters alone, and then you share those scenes with those characters. And it's also important to kind of clear out and talk about how the goal is to bring Superman into this universe again. He's kind of been on the sidelines. We've heard The Rock talk about how the most powerful being in the universe has been on the sidelines for too long, and they are teasing. And if it is true that Henry Cavill's coming back, and not just if he's coming back for another movie or appear in multiple movies to show you that he's still around and that he's going to be a big part of it, especially if you're going to do a story that's similar to, or whatever the ultimate goal for the storytelling is. You need Superman in that universe. You need that. And if he appears in the end credits of Black Adam, that all but pretty much also confirms that we will be seeing a movie where Black Adam and Superman fight. That's something fans have been wanting for the longest, especially when we knew that Black Adam was cast with The Rock and Henry Cavill Superman. There's been a following. People have been supporters of this. And, to make a movie about that, the story might not sound like it's important, but it's something that it is because of the story, how, you could show how, Superman's vulnerable to magic, and Black Adam might have the upper hand in that kind of moment, but it's also important to lay out that Superman has a lot to fight for. Not just for the people he cares about, but because of the world he lives in and the universe he's trying to protect. Whereas Black Adam was known more for fighting with rage and anger because of what he lost, and because of what he was hoping to gain by being someone so powerful that could just take whatever he wants. But that's not something that Superman would allow. So yeah, you could say that in some ways Black Adam is more angry, and he's may have the upper hand in certain situations, but the thing is that Superman is fighting for a lot, and I think a lot of people forget that in many ways Superman is still holding back because he knows he's strong. Don't forget that's the whole point of why in the Zack Snyderverse Batman was seeing him as a threat, because no matter if he is a good person, if he is someone that does care about this world, he's still a very dangerous person and could very easily wipe us out if he wanted to. So there, in those kind of situations, Superman is always having to be reminded that he needs to keep our trust, and he needs to be careful, because with just a single slip, he could just do so much damage. And I think that's important, and I think that might be an important thing why we need to see them fight, because you're going to see what the outcome is, and hopefully maybe that puts Black Adam to see the perspective, and if there's something bigger happening and a bigger threat coming, Black Adam will be there. But we don't know what the story is. For all we know, they might be pushing him where he'll be more of still on the sidelines, and he might be someone who becomes kind of a threat. But hopefully it's not where he is the ultimate threat, because I think that would be a waste of a character, and not to mention bad character development, because you're having someone who who's trying to understand the difference between good and bad. Heroes don't kill and villains aren't out to do good for the world. Someone who's understanding that, who just, came from something where he lost everything. It's a good opportunity to tell that kind of story and not just do, your typical superhero. Oh, he comes into these situations and he's, just the big bad. No, there's an opportunity to tell a good story of morals and what's important that you're fighting for, and why we need to, everybody needs to work together because of a main threat that could be coming, whether it's Darkseid or Brainiac or whoever the big villain will be. It won't just be a cycle. It'll be something that kind of feels realistic, yet even though we're dealing with supernatural things, it'll feel like a solid ground because of the characters that are involved with a good storytelling. Now, yeah, maybe that might sound a little too much and something that may never come because of the way how unorganized the DC movies have been. But hopefully, with this, it could be the opportunity, guys. Now, I don't know, but it could be what we've been hoping for. But with that said, I really look forward to the movie. I'm excited. I'm pumped. I really hope it does a good job in telling its own story. I don't want it to be that kind of movie that just kind of uses the opportunity to involve these characters and just tease you what's coming next. No, I really want to see the movie for what it is. I want to see Black Adam. I want to see that character be explored. I want to see the Justice Society of America. I want to see those characters, Dr. Fate, Hawkman. I want to see all these characters with each other and see what we could come up with and what's going to be of the future, because it's an important story. And it just seems like the normal thing where a lot of people go see the latest superhero movie, especially with Marvel, where maybe the movie might not be so good, but it's important because of what they're teasing for the next project or the next crossover. I don't want that for the DC movies. I want them to tell a good story, and hopefully they can, because it's an important way if you're going to want to do that kind of 10-year plan or however long they plan to go. You don't bring in those actors and those characters just to waste those opportunities and just tell a one-time story. You bring him in to tell something that's organized and planned, and that's what the Rock has been teasing. That's what the new management has been teasing, and hopefully that's what it means with Superman's return if he really is coming back. Hopefully, again, it's all but confirmed. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm excited, and I hope all of you are going in to see the movie for what it is, and you're not just going to rush through it to see the end credits. Without a doubt, if it is true, guys, and Henry Cavill is at the end credits, I think we're all going to lose it. We're going to just freak out, and we're just going to be so pumped and ready for the future. But hopefully, let's remember that the focus is that the movie, hopefully it's solid, because that involves an important character and other people that will hopefully be involved with the future. So it all just hopefully plans out and comes together. So with that said, thank you guys for taking the time to listen and watch. I appreciate you guys. I really do appreciate all the support. It means everything to me. Hopefully the future of DCU is still very much alive, and hopefully it's organized. I hope we can all, they come up with something that we can all be satisfied with, and that doesn't feel like it's all over the place. I really want to see something solid and a good story told, because DC has a lot of important and good characters that have a lot of cool opportunities to see and tell. So let's just wait and see. But again, thank you guys so much. I appreciate the thoughts, and share your opinions with me. Let me know what you think. Are you excited for the Black Adam movie? Are you looking forward to it? If not, let me know. But I'm ready, and I hope you're ready. And thank you again. And as always, guys, never forget that on Bright Rice channel, it's movie time all the time.